Hey guys, we are back for another new Marvel Legends review. Well, maybe not too new. I'm sure you've seen a review for this guy before because people have been getting him from overseas before he hits the States. But he's finally out here, and that, of course, is the Walgreens exclusive Thing, Ben Grimm from the Fantastic Four. This is a pretty amazing looking toy. I'm very interested to take a look at this guy, and he is beyond heavy. This is Build-A-Figure level figure here. So we've got him here in our standard Marvel Legends box. Of course, we do have the Walgreens exclusive sticker on the front. We've got the FF logo down there on the bottom, and then the back has got product shots and a very small write-up of Ben Grimm. So let's pull him out and take a look. Alright guys, here he is. We've got our Ben Grimm figure out of the package. Marvel's The Thing, and I gotta say, I am pretty much blown away by this figure. We're definitely talking Build-A-Figure level figure in terms of size, quality, uniqueness of sculpt, and just everything about this figure seems a cut above anything else that we've had this year. You know, I've said when I got Cable that he was my #1. Then Omega Red came along and I was like, well, Cable might not be #1 anymore, and now I have this, and it's like, this is just amazing. This figure is fantastic. It's everything that I wanted it to be in terms of a Thing figure, so humor me while I gush over this guy. We're going to, of course, talk about articulation first, so we got to see how he moves around. And frankly, he moves around pretty well. We've got, you know, a rather large figure here, so that you always have to take that into consideration. We got a swiveling head. He can go back a little bit, he can go down a little bit. So not tons. You can pop his head right off the joint if you are so inclined. And then we've got an arm that can go all the way out, swivel all the way around. There is no bicep swivel here. I'm not too surprised that they went this route. We have a swiveling elbow, and then it's just a single joint there. You've got hinges and rotation at the wrist. He has an upper diaphragm swivel, so he goes back a little bit, because it's not really a crunch, a true crunch, because he doesn't have anything cut out at the actual abs, but it's an upper diaphragm, and he moves back pretty decently. That's not too terrible, all things considered, for his size. Full-on waist twist. Legs go out, I'd say farther than you really need them to. They kick all the way forward. He kicks back just a bit. There is a cut at the thigh. Double jointed knees, which go back pretty decently. And then, of course, since he doesn't have a boot, there is no swivel there, so you don't get anything at that. But we have a full rocker, and then, of course, we have a hinge down at the ankle, and they hinge pretty decently. That's pretty far back. So all things considered, I think he moves around, you know, maybe more than I had anticipated. He is, of course, a little bit limited just because of his size. But, you know, it's a Thing. What's he going to do? He's not going to be as agile as any other character, but I think they kind of gave him more than most folks would have expected, and I am certainly not going to complain about that. What it really all comes down to, though, at the end of the day, is the sculpt and the paint on this guy, and I really think Hasbro knocked it out of the park. There is just no complaining when it comes to this figure for me. I'm really, really happy with everything they did. I mean, not to mention the fact that he is a larger figure. He is, you know, tremendously bigger than any other figure that we've gotten this year in a single card, you know, not counting a Build-A-Figure. He is just covered in detail. Everything you see here is sculpted detail. It's not just paint. Those cracks are actually sculpted in. It's not a bunch of mirrored plastic either, so some things are unique to each side. And in general, I think they just, you know, kind of went above and beyond when it comes to this guy. And even the paint is different colors depending on where you look, because the wash is not just one singular color. It does have a little bit of a gradient effect to it. So, you know, I said I was going to gush about this figure, and I really don't think that there's anything to do but gush over him, because he's sculpted insanely well. He's got a tremendous paint job, and he looks exactly like I want him to. Of course, you know, here's a quick size comparison just to give you an idea of how big he is. So here he is next to Johnny. He obviously isn't humongous, and I guess I'm not too surprised by that, but he is still, I mean, especially in the thickness department, he has got a little bit extra going on from your average Marvel Legends. So he is quite large. He's very beefy. He has a tremendous heft to him. And again, in general, I just think they did a fantastic job. He looks exactly like a pile of rocks. He looks like a rock man, and I don't think that I wanted anything other than that, and they delivered. Let's take a look real quick at that head sculpt just to give you an idea of what he's got going on there, though. So in the head department, we have got, you know, a very grimaced, very upset-looking Ben Grimm, and I think they did a fantastic job here. You can see everything is cleanly painted. You've got the teeth poking through the mouth. We've got cleanly painted, very centered eyes. He's got kind of got the furrowed rock brow going on. So I dig the expression that they gave him on this particular head. And this is probably the one I'm always going to use. He does have another one though, but this is, you know, my angry thing. This is what I want to put him up against a Hulk when he's got this expression on. And just like everything else about this figure, the sculpt, the paint, everything is 100% on point, and you know, it looks just like the thing. What more can you ask for? Well, what you could ask for is a few accessories, a handful, if you will, and that's, I guess that's a pun intended. We've got a different head here to start with, so I've already popped that on. You can see that this is a different expression. He's got a closed mouth, kind of somber, a little sad almost, which kind of fits in with the thing. He's not always the happiest of guys, so I kind of dig the options there. Like I said, I'm probably going to use the other one more often than not, but I'm always up for options, and this one is another fantastic head sculpt. We have two sets of hands. We can see the ones he's already got. These are what he comes with in the box. So you've got his closed fist right hand and his open style pose left hand. He basically comes with the opposite for each hand. So we've got an open style pose right and a closed fist left. So you can have, you know, two open palms, you can have two closed fists, or you can swap them around. But you've got options to put him in different poses. You know, shove the Hulk's face into his hand or something and just have him beat the crap out of him. And of course, we have to do a quick Walgreens family exclusive group shot, and I think that the thing absolutely rounds these out really, really well. You know, there are some figures here that are better than others. Thing is definitely at the top of the list for me. I don't know if anybody can really dispute that, although I'm still very fond of the Mr. Fantastic. And Sue's pretty good too. Johnny's probably at the bottom for me just because. But yeah, we've got our full Fantastic Four lineup here. It's nice to have a small, contained team. I'm glad to get him. He's really rounding this out very nicely. So there you go, guys. I would say that this figure is definitely among the best Legends that we've had this year. And frankly, he is rivaling pretty much everything for my current top spot. You know, Cable was my #1. Then Omega Red came along and started to kind of challenge that spot. But this figure is something else. The sculpt on him, the paint work, the interchangeable head, the interchangeable hands, everything about this just screams quality, screams a kind of top tier level for Marvel Legends. And in general, we got basically a Build-A-Figure in terms of size, sculpt, and just all around uniqueness for 20 bucks. And you can't discount the fact that they kind of went crazy on this figure, even though it was just a standard figure and not a Build-A-Figure. So I'm really, really, really happy with this one. I would urge anyone who is a Thing fan or a Fantastic Four fan to not sleep on this guy. He is a fantastic figure and a very much welcome addition to my collection. So that's going to do it for this look at the Marvel Legends Walgreens exclusive Thing figure from Hasbro. Let me know what you guys think. Feel free to like, comment, subscribe, and share, and until next time.